All right, everybody, welcome back. Can't wait to get into today's Mindset and Motivation Monday here on the Cabral Concept, the way that we always start the week off right. Today's topic is your future depends on these 5 things. I love being able to fill my mind not only with motivation's great, but inspiration, which seems to hit us at a much deeper and core-based level. So when I was reading about all these different, I would say, motivators or inspirational things that people can do to make their next 12 months of their life their best 12 months, these 5 really stood out to me. And I want to take these 5, I want to move through them here with you today. But I don't want this to just be a podcast. If you don't have the time right now, if you're not out walking and listening and maybe jotting notes in your phone, I would love you to just take some time, re-listen to this again. It's going to be a short show with your journal and writing down how you'll make these 5 variables towards the positive, switching towards the positive in your life, which is going to lead to a brighter future. Because I didn't title the show, Your Future Success Depends on These 5 Things. Because unfortunately, these 5 things can lead to negatives as well. So it's how you position these 5 things in your life that move you towards greater success, or unfortunately, more suffering, more pain in your life. So let's move through these now. And of course, moving towards a more positive twist. So every single one of these 5 comes down to, what are you feeding your subconscious and your self-image? All that will make sense in just a second. So the first one is this: what are the books that you are reading or plan to read? This is so important, not just for the information in the book. And I want to explain that. So think about this. If you pick up a book on how to become a health coach, or how to become a real estate agent, or how to learn to code, or whatever it might be, right? Like any of these different things. Just with the act of purchasing that book, you are saying to yourself, you are someone worthy or able to achieve X, whatever the book is. You might not deeply believe yet, but you at least are somewhat committed and believe that there is a chance, which is why you spent the money on it, right? So what I say is, like, what are you believing at this moment about yourself? And the nonfiction, or the nonfiction books you pick up are leading you towards what you feel is important to you or what you want to become. So if you're trying to get well and you're purchasing books on gut health or hormonal health or whatever, you at least are taking the first step. Like, you're believing, I can get well. There has to be a way. And that's a beautiful thing, right? But on the flip side, if you've given up reading on how to improve your health, your weight, your spirituality, your relationships, your finances, your career, any one of those things, you've given up on yourself. So books are one of those things that allow you to reinforce the good thoughts you have about your self-worth. You are worthy of getting well. You are worthy of finding the right partner. You are worthy of accumulating income and wealth. You are worthy of improving your spirituality. You are worthy of achieving the body type of your dreams. Like, you're worthy of that. And by purchasing the book and reading the book, you are reinforcing that each day. It doesn't mean that you'll have all the answers, but it does mean that you're committed to the process. So I love that one. What books are you reading? So take a moment, jot those down. And if you're not reading any books right now, that's okay. Don't be hard on yourself. What books are you going to read? Choose 1 per month. All right. The next one is this. And the 1 per month comes from reading 10 pages per day. 3 pages upon waking, 3 pages at lunch, 3 to 4 pages before bed. It's not difficult to do. It takes about 10 minutes or so at each clip, even for a slow reader. And what that enables you to do, though, is read 300 pages a month. That's about 1 book, or maybe even a book and a half, if a lot of books are being written just in 200 pages. So again, you can get through a lot of information, moving yourself forward in life in that way. All right. The second one is this: not the books that you're reading, but the food that you are eating. And why this is important is because now more than ever, we need to eat like our life depends on it, because it does. So there's so many programs. And again, I totally get it. But if you're reading a program written by someone, and again, like I was 22 years old once as well. But when you're 22, it's easier to stay in shape, right? It's easier to eat whatever you want. as long as it fits your macros, right? That's the whole thing. I see these Instagram people online saying, I eat dessert every night, I eat ice cream every night, I do these things every night because it fits my macros. Okay, so first of all, I get it. It actually can work, but is that what you want to be putting in your body? Because when you're 22, you don't think that you'll ever be 42. And you definitely don't think you'll ever be 62. And you can't imagine 82. Right? And so it's just, we have to be careful about what we put in our body starting today. Because just last week, I was talking about dementia and Alzheimer's, right? On one of my podcasts and the earliest signs for that. Well, dementia and Alzheimer's doesn't just happen overnight. It happens over decades. And it's the energy that we have, the vitality that in which we live, the goals that we want to set for ourselves is based on energy. And energy is based on the health of our body. So eat like your life depends on it. How are you eating right now? Take an audit. Every day, do you have a little treat? Could it be once a week, twice a week? Does it have to be every day? Are you eating 7 to 10 servings of fruits and veggies every day? Brightly colored objects, right? Brightly colored foods. Trust me, you don't want to fall for the fad diet of the day. I've been around long enough to see them come and go. Got to stick with those brightly colored fruits and veggies. Doesn't mean you can't eat meat. Doesn't mean you can't have some good healthy fat, but just be careful of the majority of the food that you eat. All right. The third one is this. And I always keep going back because I want to give I've given whole seminars on each one of these, but the food that you eat, remember, the food that you eat fuels you and your body for everything else that you want to do in your life. So think of it that way. All right. Number 3 is this. The people you spend the most time with. I love this one as well. And I gave a little quote to it. Who do you want rubbing off on you? I love that quote. And I'm probably going to see if my team can pull this out and remember it for one of those quotes that we put on Instagram. Because who do you want rubbing off on you? And it really comes down to who are you spending the most time with? There's a famous saying. I don't know if it's Napoleon Hill or someone, Andrew Carnegie, or someone who came before them, Andrew Carnegie? I don't know. I apologize. I'm not the best at recalling some of these business tycoons back in the day. They're not necessarily who I model my life after. But I'll tell you this. It is a very powerful quote that you are the sum of the 5 people you spend the most time with. And that is because we tend to pick up the habits, and the people that we spend the most time with rub off on us. So, if you're around people who like to go out and have a few drinks and have some cheat foods, you find yourself doing more and more of that, after work. If you're someone that likes to hang around people that are talking about business ideas and starting businesses, well, you're most likely going to start a business in the next few months or years, right? If you're around other people who want to get in great shape, well, you're talking about nutrition and exercise. So choose who you want to spend the most time with. Now, you may always have to spend time with people that you're related to or you're friends with, and you don't want to disassociate from them, but it just means that you need to spend more time with people that you want to be more like. That's all that it means. Right? And we're not saying there's good people, bad people necessarily. We're saying here are the people that we want to spend more time with. Are there any events I could go to that they'll be at? Are there any, and by that I mean live events, are there any then online chats or communities I could also be a part of, right? So start to look at the organizations and just people that you can meet and be around to want to get some of their ambition, their drive, their goals, their achievements to rub off on you as well. All right, so think about that, write that down. Number 4 is this. What are the daily routines that you've adopted and want to adopt? So remember, we are where we are in life because of the routines and habits that we've adopted over time. The time we wake up, the time we go to bed, the foods that we eat, the times of the day that we eat, the exercise we do or don't do, the books we read or don't read, the people we hang around with or choose to spend less time with those people. So what are your routines? So much in this podcast on the Monday shows I go back to, what does your calendar look like? Because if you show me your calendar, I already know what your priorities are, and I already know where you're at in life. For the most part, I really do. And I don't mean that in a negative way, and I'm certainly not, a Nostradamus. But what I want to share with you is that if I see scheduled into your day your meal prep, your AM routine, your exercise, your time with your kids, your time with your spouse, or if it's all work, whatever it is, I know where the priorities lie. I know what you're scheduling. I know what you've blocked off time for. And so you've by default said, these are my priorities. So now if you want to get to different goals because you haven't achieved them yet in your life, something needs to change in your life, which means something needs to change in your priorities, which means new things need to be scheduled in your calendar. So some things may need to get pushed out, and that's just the way that it is. On the way to changing our life, we need to change in a little way who we are, and that's not necessarily a bad thing. All right, number 5 is this. What are the conversations that you engage in? I love this question. This one took me a little while to think about. It really did, because it is similar enough, but yet different that I believe it deserves its own thought process right here. So it's kind of like the people you spend the most time with. Well, the people you spend your most time with, I was thinking about that more in actions. Going to the gym, going out to eat, having drinks with, whatever it might be, like building projects with, etc., right? Growing with. But the conversations you engage with are different. That's a deeper level. Meaning, are you spending time with people complaining about the world, about taxes, about the government, about all of these different negatives? And that's, again, you can engage in those conversations, or are the majority of your conversations built upon growth? And not just with work, not just about that, growth in spirituality, growth in who you are as a person, growth in your body transformation or health, or your relationships. Like, are your relationships, do they have real conversations around them with your significant other? Are you talking about how you can grow as a couple and get better, right? What each of you would like to see more of, or maybe less of. These are hard conversations. We can have the same ones with our kids. We can talk to our kids, especially as they get to be a certain age. We can say, listen, what could we be doing better as parents? Here's what I want to see more of from you. Here's why I want to see it, right? Here's what I'm looking out for. Although we have a disagreement, this is why. And although you may not be able to see it from my point of view right now, here's my reasoning. These are all difficult conversations, but the more conversations, the more difficult conversations that we engage in, or the more conversations that begin to expand our mind from the books that we're reading, or the people that we're hanging around with, right? Or the routines that we've adopted, the deeper the conversations, the more that we're going to force ourselves to grow. And here's why. It goes back to self-image, and it goes back to the subconscious. If we're willing to engage in these hard conversations and begin to change our routine, what are we reinforcing? We're reinforcing that we're worthy of achieving this new objective and that we've set our mind to it. We've set our mind to it, and now we're changing our routine and adding time in our schedule, which typically means subtracting from another place, saying this new thing is more important than this. And here's why. And just by the act of getting started, we improve our self-image. We say, listen, I am someone who takes action. I'm someone who's committed to a goal. That begins to fire off neurotransmitters in your body like dopamine and gets you excited for the future. Now, when you wake up in the morning, you have something to work towards. You have ideas. You have books that you're reading. You have routines that you're following. You have people that you're engaging with that are moving you light years into the future. But also remember, the negative can be on every side of this. Negative newspaper and media and articles, poor foods, spending time with people that are just bringing negativity and dragging you down, adopting routines that only further push you away from what you truly want your life to be, and conversations that are not allowing you to grow in any realm, emotionally, physically, spiritually. So when I ask you, what are the 5 things that your future depends on? And are you actively engaged in them? These are those 5. Write them down. Listen to the show again. Take a moment to go through the books, the foods, the people, the routines, and the conversations that where you're at right now and where you want to be. None of us are perfect, and we're never going to be perfect, especially not on a daily basis. But what we can do is move towards a greater self-image a greater subconscious effect, meaning we're taking in now all these much more positives, which inevitably has to lead us to a new location in our life. And that is the life that we've always dreamt of, that we've always hoped for. And it doesn't happen overnight. It happens by all of these small actions predicated by these 5 specific things that I hope you'll work on starting today. Thanks so much for tuning into today's show. I thank you. I appreciate you. If the show is helpful, do feel free to always share it with anyone you believe it could serve. Take care, everybody. Thanks so much for tuning into today's show. Before you go, don't forget to hit that subscribe button. I want to make sure that you're getting our daily content, not missing out on anything. Functional medicine, wellness, weight gain, weight loss, anti-aging, living longer, stronger, and all of the most cutting-edge research. And if there's any topics you want to hear, feel free to leave them in the comments below. Take care.